So first of all, I just want to start with thank you everybody for coming out today. Really appreciate it. I know we're doing a little bit of a battle here with Blues Fest, so thank you for choosing us. It's great to see all your faces up here. I know you're not here to see me, so I'm going to be brief. I'm just going to give you the layout of what's happening here today and tell you a little bit about how I got involved and how you might want to get involved too. On that note, let's get started. My name is Tara Wilson, and I'm here on behalf of the PPC of the Kitchener, Waterloo, Cambridge, Guelph, Halton Hills Regional Association here for the People's Party of Canada. And I'm hoping that I'm going to get to know you guys a little bit more over the next couple of weeks and months, perhaps. So kind of keep that in mind as I'm talking. I thought I'd talk today about some of the reasons why I'm here, because I bet there's some of the same reasons that you guys are here. Over the last decade, I've become increasingly dissatisfied with the political environment in Canada. And to be honest, I've been voting about who I'd like to block from gaining power rather than who I believe in to run this country. And that might be a great political strategy, but that makes it kind of a game. And that really perpetuates the status quo. And I thought, that's not really who I'm about, that's not really what I want to be, and my life isn't a game. More importantly, I can't afford to gamble on my son's life. This is the future of Canada. So I did a little digging, did a little bit more reading, and I found a PPC. And I decided it was time to get involved, to be involved with some people that had vision, had values, wanted to uphold the Constitution, the Charter, believed in things that I believed in. And I thought, I'm a busy single mom, I have my own business, I have a son who's very active, and this is worth my time. So I decided to get involved, and I met some wonderful people, and I'm here talking to you folks today, and I would just encourage you to think about the future of Canada that you want, and how important is it to you to build that future. Because in reality, if we let things go the way they are, we've seen the story play out. I encourage you all to think about why you're here today, to listen to our wonderful guest speaker, and think a little bit about how maybe you might get involved, what you can do to help support that in the next little while. Okay. What I would do right now is, those of you who are on the board, the executive right now, if you could put up your hands. Okay, so anybody in this room with their hand up, if you're interested in getting involved, go and talk to those people. Find out what it's about. We do have a regular monthly meeting this Tuesday, so if you're interested in getting involved, feel free to go see Christine, make sure she has your contact information, and then come on out and see us on Tuesday. Okay? Just wanted to keep that thought in your mind as you're listening to everyone speak today. Okay. On that note, I'm going to hand things over to Kevin Dupuis, who is our candidate, and he's going to do a little bit of an intro, and then he's going to hand things off to Cole Squire, and then we're going to get the headliner up. So we're all here to see Maxime. Thanks, everyone.
I talk with my hands an awful lot, so I need freedom, as it says back here. Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Dupuis. I'm a PPC candidate from Kitchener-Conestoga. I live out in West Montrose, and I've lived in the area since 1985. Before that, I was actually from the Bruce County area. I grew up in Walkerton. And we've got a whole pile more people. That's wonderful. Good to see you guys come on in. Fantastic. So, yeah, if you could find, have we got any more chairs? Are we good with the chairs? I think so far we're good. Okay. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming out today. Taking time out of your free time of Sunday afternoon, and with a jazz festival going on, it is so nice to see you guys all come out. Obviously, you're concerned about Canada's future as well, as the rest of us. So, it is so wonderful to see. We've got a wonderful group here within our Kitchener, Guelph, Cambridge, and Halton Hills area. We'd like to see more of you come out and join our board. We need the help. We need representation from all these different areas, and so that would be astronomical if you could come out. The next thing I want to do is I want to thank Maxime for coming and visiting our community. Maxime has continuously crisscrossed our great nation to save our country from its inevitable decline under a two-party system. It's not often that we get to stand in the presence of an individual who sees Canada, how Canada could be, how Canada should be, and how Canada will be. Maxime is a visionary who understands what a true Canadian stands for, and while many people may be deceived by our political system and how political parties change their platforms on a whim, Maxime has remained true to his vision for Canada, even if it doesn't follow what the media propagandizes to you. So I am here in awe of this man, knowing that he has the best interests of Canada in his heart. I know that many people who hold Liberal, Conservative, and NDP values are wondering how the PPC will fare in the next election. And that is the beauty of the People's Party of Canada. We are all an all-encompassing party that takes in everyone's views, as Maxime has explained to me, everything is a free vote. So if your candidate resonates with you, then by all means vote for that candidate, because he's going to resonate your thoughts on Parliament Hill. We appeal to all the ideologies because we're truly based on what Canada wants. In this last election, the PPC didn't just rely on Conservative votes. If we did, we wouldn't have done as well as we did nationwide. In my own writing, the people who voted PPC came from all major parties. The Liberals' vote was down. The Conservative vote was down. The Green Party was decimated. The PPC has grown from 1.6% to 841,000 votes in the last election. That is an increase of 286%. In Kitchener-Conestoga, we grew 362%. So that is just fantastic. The PPC is the fastest growing party in Canada, and that is why the media and the other major parties continue to harass Maxime, arrest him, and not allow him to speak in any of the debates. People are waking up to what is happening in Canada. For the past 2.5 years, they have been unnecessarily locked down, restricted from travel, not allowed to visit their loved ones or attend funerals, being arrested for protesting, had their businesses destroyed, lost their jobs, had their relationships with their families, friends, and acquaintances brought to a point which tore them apart. These are the reasons why the PPC will flourish. The PPC is the only party that stood up against the tyranny, and while a few MPs spoke out against it, they all fell in line with their respective parties after they were threatened. Even Pierre Poilievre didn't speak out against the injustices at the trucker rally until Aaron O'Toole was eliminated and Pierre knew that he was running for leader. Aaron O'Toole stepped down on February the 2nd. Pierre Poilievre wrote his letter to Trudeau condemning his actions against the truckers on February the 8th. So if people think that Pierre is going to be the savior of the Conservatives, they will be sadly disappointed. He will fall in line like all the previous leaders, Ford, Brown, and O'Toole, had in the past. Today we are gathered to bolster the number of people directly involved with PPC infrastructure. Some of you have worked with other parties in what is called an EDA, or an electoral district association. Many of you have helped local candidates with getting out the vote, putting up signs, canvassing door to door. The job of an EDA is to ensure that we have the best candidates to enter into the election. But it is also responsible for fundraising money to help win elections and making public aware of issues that affect our community. Having a candidate is one thing, but it is the infrastructure that is supporting that candidate that is crucial to the success of the party. And that is why we're here today. Your skills, time, and commitment can see amazing results. Mike Morris is the local Green MP from Kitchener Centre. He won his riding because he had a great ground crew. His signs were everywhere in downtown Kitchener. Some of them were coming up against my apartment buildings that I saw, and when they got too close, I just moved them slightly. But he had his people knocking on doors, and that's why he was successful. There's a few other reasons too, but Mike did a wonderful job. You can also help our regional association by telling your family and friends about the PPC party so we can grow and be prepared for the next election when it is called. And it may be called sooner than we think. We don't know. So thank you for your time and support. Our next speaker is an amazing individual. I first met Cole Squire at a PPC workshop, and he was very green. He's just a young guy. But the next, and he had his cue cards all lined up, much like I have my cue cards today. But he had his cue cards all lined up, and he was all dressed up and to the nines, and he looked so nervous. The next 3 months, I saw him in a downtown rally in Kitchener, or in Toronto, just below the CBC buildings. And it was a wonderful rally, and what a difference that I saw in Cole. His story just blew me away, and I was so impressed with this young man. And I'm so glad to see that Maxime has recognized that in him as well. He gave a speech, it was funny because David Menzies was in the crowd. And David Menzies, as many of you will know, was the reporter from Rebel News. And so David came up to me and asked me if I wanted to, do an interview. And I said, you know what, I would love to do an interview. But I think there's someone you should speak to instead. And so that's when I introduced him to Cole Squire. And Cole gave a fantastic 15-minute interview. Now, this was the funny part, because David Menzies said, well, I need my cameraman. He was looking around for his cameraman, and the guy was off in the crowd and we couldn't find him. And he says, well, what do you need, Dave? And he says, well, can you hold my camera? So I ended up being the cameraman for 15 minutes, holding his camera like this, steady. And that's tough to do after 15 minutes. Your arms get real sore. Cole would not shut up. For 15 minutes, Cole. Anyway, now I have the distinct pleasure of introducing PPC's Lieutenant, or if you're American, Lieutenant, for Ontario, the candidate for Brantford Brant, a native Canadian who grew up and lives on the Six Nations Reserve, and a great guy and a friend, Mr. Cole Squire.
Try to get organized here. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here in your hometown of Kitchener. As Kevin was saying, my name is Cole Squire. I'm the